I can't believe I missed something so huge. Green screen fail. I'm gonna have to turn this inside out. When I did my video on Executive Order 13848, that's the executive order that President Trump wrote in 2018, which deals with foreign election interference. When I did that video, I missed something huge. And I would like to thank Toothless Bulldog 2.0. She's a lawyer on YouTube, and she left a comment in the comment section, and she told me to check out her video, and I'm really glad I did. So I will leave the link for her channel in this description so you guys can go over there and check out her channel. She's got some really good information over there. But when I looked at her, video towards the end, she pointed out this line. Actually, let me just go show you what she pointed out. I, Donald J. Trump, President of the United States of America, find that the ability of persons located in whole or in substantial part outside the United States to interfere in or undermine public confidence in United States elections, including through unauthorized accessing of election and campaign infrastructure. And here's the part I missed, which was huge, or the covert distribution of propaganda and disinformation. And we know that we have seen the fake news do nothing but disinformation and propaganda. But this, it says here, it constitutes an unusual and extraordinary threat to the national security and foreign policy of the United States. And we know once we see the words unusual and extraordinary threat, that's going to link us to the president's emergency powers. And so this next part here deals with the report that needs to be done on election interference that was supposed to be done in 45 days after the election. But you see here that they shall conduct an assessment of any information indicating a foreign government or a person acting as an agent on behalf of a foreign government has acted with the intent or purpose of interfering in that election. This leaves us with a couple of questions. Number one, was there foreign interference in the 2020 election? Number two, did the fake news media covertly distribute propaganda and disinformation? And number three, does the fake news media have ties to the Chinese Communist Party? Well, according to Catherine Herridge over at CBS, she reported that DNI Radcliffe told CBS News that there was foreign election interference by China, Iran, and Russia in November of this year. So we have that confirmed. Question two is about the fake news media distributing propaganda and disinformation. Well, let's see. Did they do that? Well, according to Senator Ron Johnson, they did.
And of course, we found out now the mainstream media had far greater influence and interference in our election than any Russian interference ever could have hoped for. I mean, the fact of the matter, there have been polls out now. McLaughlin poll said that 36% of Biden voters had never heard of the Hunter Biden story because of the censorship and suppression. Of that, 13%, once they found out, said they wouldn't have voted for Biden. So that means 4.6% of Biden voters would not have voted for him. That means Trump would have won the election. That's the enormous influence that social media and our liberal bias media played on this election. Their interference just is orders of magnitude greater than any Russian or Chinese or Iran foreign interference in this campaign.
I think we can answer question number two in the affirmative, but it's not a crime to lie. Now we're on to question three. And I can't answer this question as well as DNI Radcliffe can, because I don't have access to the level of information that they have, but I will show you what I can find on my own. And if I can find this, I'm sure they will do a much better job than me. Article from the Federalist. So this is question number three. Is the fake news tied to the CCP? A rundown of major US corporate media's business ties to China. Oh boy, and looky here. This article, it's going to touch on the New York Times. Yep, they got ties. The Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC and NBC, ABC, and Bloomberg. I'm not saying that this is definitive proof, but I am saying that these are some highly questionable ties that we have here. But I will leave that up to the people who have more information than me to determine whether or not the fake news functioned as foreign agents working on behalf of the Chinese Communist Party. There is one man that is linking all these things together, and that is attorney Lin Wood. He writes that soon no objective, fair-minded person will be able to deny massive fraud perpetrated in planned, coordinated scheme to steal our presidency. CNN, ABC, NBC, CBS, Fox News, New York Times, Washington Post, Atlantic, Mother Jones, etc. are all co-conspirators. They have all been caught. And I think it's safe to say he knows a little bit more about this than me. The curious part of me was wondering if any of this could extend over to social media platforms. I noticed that Lin Wood did not name any social media platforms by name, but I was just curious because I know that prominent politicians have had concerns over whether or not Mark Zuckerberg and Jack Dorsey have committed perjury, but nothing has happened to them. So I'm wondering, hey, were they waiting for this moment here to do something about what they've said? So here's an article from the American Spectator asking, did Jack Dorsey commit perjury? And this article is talking about how hackers leaked screenshots showing that Twitter has tools for shadow banning and censoring or editing tweets. And then they point out that back in July of 2018, Jack Dorsey said, Twitter certainly don't shadow ban, and we don't shadow ban based on political viewpoints. Okay, yeah. Anyway, and I have this tweet here from Ted Cruz on October 28th of 2020 saying that what @Jack told the Senate under oath is false. I just tried to tweet the @New York Post story alleging Biden's CCP corruption, still blocked. 18 USC 1621 makes it a felony to lie under oath to the Senate. And I have another one here. Congressman Matt Gaetz files criminal referral against Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Why? Well, it was for making materially false statements to Congress while under oath during two joint hearings in Congress on April 10th, 2018 and April 11th, 2018. It says Mr. Zuckerberg repeatedly and categorically denied his company engaged in bias against conservative speech persons, policies, or politics, and also denied that Facebook censored and suppressed content supportive of President Donald Trump and other conservatives. In June of 2020, however, Project Veritas published the results of an undercover investigation featuring two whistleblowers who worked as Facebook's content moderators, revealing that the overwhelming majority of content filtered by Facebook's AI program was content in support of President Donald Trump, Republican candidates for office, or conservatism in general. Those two have the potential to be in trouble all on their own without the election or the CCP connections. This article from The Spectator, I wish it was a little bit stronger. It's basically just talking about how Jack Dorsey won't flag disputed tweets from CCP agents, but you know how they treat people here in America. It's not enough evidence for me. Now, this article from Vox, this is a little stronger. Facebook gave user data to a Chinese company considered a national security threat. Facebook has data sharing partnerships with 4 Chinese device makers. Well, that's a little bit stronger evidence of a Facebook CCP connection. I'm really looking forward to seeing the government's report on foreign election interference. It should be out any day now. I cannot make the definitive conclusions that they can make, but I can give you guys some food for thought, just give you some stuff to help you make your own decisions, because I like having the maximum amount of information possible, sometimes even too much information. So I can definitely say, though, with confidence that there is something rotten in Denmark. And by Denmark, I mean the 2020 election. And guys, don't forget to make sure that you are contacting your representatives. I'll leave a link to an article that makes it easier to contact them. And also don't forget that President Trump is calling on all patriots to report to Washington, D.C. on January 6th for a mega rally. It's going to be historic.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. If you like this video, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and please share it. You can help us continue to fight in the war against disinformation by donating at paypal.me/right-left-of-center. I'm River Wright from Right Left of Center, and if you're watching, you're probably right too.